Hello everyone and welcome to Rebel Brick. We have a little different setup today. Today I'm building actually on my pool table, and as you can see I've got a mess of things here. I do a lot of my building on here. I have a little workroom. I usually do some of my presentation that I've been doing in there. That's where I do my setup for my comic that I've been doing for work. But today, because I am doing more of just building, and I did pick up two sets here, so we will showcase these two sets. We actually have these are Lego Friends sets. We have set 41755 and 41754. Now both of these sets, me and my youngest daughter had found these over at Walmart. They were on clearance. Normally they go for I think $25. Actually I think it's $20, and we get them on sale for 13 something. So with that, I've been kind of looking at these because if I'm doing my comic, I figured, well, what I could do is I could, very much like what I've started here, I could actually make kind of a skyscraper. I have a small city going already. I do not have any real skyscrapers, so I figured this would give me an opportunity to have one. But I wanted to do it in a little bit of a modular sense. So I kind of started here. I just kind of wanted to flesh things out just a little bit. I've got some different pieces than what you might normally see. So as I'm kind of working through a couple things, I'll kind of tell you where I've got some of this stuff from. First of all, let me start off with the sets themselves. So as we look at the sets, this is the, let me grab the box. Let's see, nope, that's the wrong box. Okay, so this is Nova's room, 755. So we have Nova and Zach here. They have a kind of an interesting room. I don't have any real issues with it. It does look very interesting. I think in some regards, if I had the pretend money like what the Lego does for their characters, I think I could maybe have a room like this. But the unfortunate reality is I never did, and Legos were always my everything toy when I was growing up, and that's where I started everything off. Keep in mind, I'm 48 years old now. I buy this stuff because to me they're more models. I enjoy doing the comics that I've started doing for work. Work has been kind of busy for me, so trying to upload, even just doing a little review for something that, you know, maybe someone's interested in getting, has been a little tight lately. I know I didn't post anything up. This is Saturday for me. I didn't have anything up for Friday. I was really swamped at work trying to get training done and all that. So but this is an interesting set. So we have, if I can grab the right characters, let's see, and then the box so I can remember their names, because I don't do a lot of the Friends. My daughters have done the Friends. I've bought them some of the Friends stuff. So we have like the hotel and a hospital and that, things that they would be interested in, and their stuff has made it into the little city that I do have, which maybe at some point we'll get into. It is another complete mess, because as I start doing things, I start setting things up, and then all of a sudden my mind goes, well, maybe if I do this instead. So you know, my mind, it just keeps going back and forth, and then I get tied up in other things. So right now, as you can see, I have a very miscellaneous group of things here, but we'll work on this, and then I will get this set up, so hopefully we can work on more stuff. So with this set, we do have two figures, and they have their dog, and it looks like their dog is somewhat disabled, which is very sad to see, but it does make for an interesting piece, because we don't typically get different types of things here, whoops, in this regard. And I do like having the animals, and I like having little farm scenes and stuff like that, so I am working on trying to get a little farm on the side on some other table in my area here. So as it sits, we have a computer, two different screens, if I can show this correctly to you. So we have two different screens. We have a nice chair that kind of rolls around, and we have another chair here, and that does spin around as well. It does come with a little laptop, which does have a sticker that goes in there. So as Zach is over and he's playing games along with Nova, we could put the laptop right there. So that's kind of nice and interesting. I'm guessing that's Nova's bed, all set up for a little pooch. So we'll move this so that way I don't lose anything. Looks like that's her computer there. She's got a game controller, a little frog sitting up there. They have a little mini Lego, like a micro Lego guy. This is her phone sitting right next, and then we have like a little skull. This has got a little refrigerator, so she's got a little refrigerator sitting next to her game setup, and it's got 2 drinks inside there. So if I tilt it out, I will get 2 drinks. And they do have like a standard can pull top or whatever on the top, so that is kind of nice. I've kind of seen that before, and I was doing that in some of my comics. What I should probably try and do is I should probably try and see how I can get those pictures of the comics I'm doing for work up, so that way you guys can see what I've been doing. You know, this is all for fun, and that as I do things. This does have a little slide, so if you notice in the front here, we actually have this piece and that slides out. So that's like a food shelf. I don't know why they have it slide like that, but they do. So we have a little bookshelf, which looks like a lava lamp in there. Picture of the dog, a couple books, like a game trophy. So apparently Zoe is, as looking at my screen here so I can make sure I'm showing you correctly. Looks like Zoe plays pretty good games, probably a lot better than I do. I do enjoy playing some video games. I don't do anything real serious, but I do have some fun. But that works out pretty good. I do like the look of it. Where it kind of comes out here, my initial thought on that is if I could change this and maybe give a little balcony. But I figured that this would work out on the bottom floor. So as I can show you here, I've kind of built this. Now these are just bricks I got from, or I purchased off of Amazon. One of the reasons why I call my channel Rebel Brick is, as much as I like to stay with Lego as much as I can, all this is out of my own pocket. So if I have to get stuff from, you know, other sources, and that's the best I can do, that's the best I can do. These pieces are actually coming from a company called Strictly Brick. This is not paid advertisement from them or anything else. They make Lego plates, like road plates and all that you can actually build on. And I do actually kind of like them. But they have these pieces, so for me, that's kind of nice for a filler. I've used them before on different building ideas that I've had. I've got a little football field I made for my oldest daughter, and on the back of the press box I've got a bunch of these, and it really worked to help save bricks on other things. So but making a little shell like this, and I have the smooth pieces in here, so depending on how you want to set it up, I'm just setting this all up. I can change it out if I had a different piece I think would work better in the bottom floor. Trying to figure out exactly, I know I went wide enough. These plates that they have for these, this is 16 pegs wide, so that means that this is 18, so just enough to slide them in. I'm working on the second floor here. This one does, if I can get it in here, it's a little on the tight side, does actually have a little balcony and a sliding door. So this one is, I'll move things over. Alright, so this is Leo's room. So Leo's room actually has a little balcony. He's got a kitty cat and a little fishing rod with a fish on there to tease the kitty cat with, which would work pretty good. And actually, I do have it just set off to the side if I can find it now, because now I moved it. There it is. It does have some Technic pieces in there, so you can move it back and forth, which is kind of neat for a little play aspect of it all. The kitty cat itself is kind of cute. I know that these are marketed more towards the girls and all that stuff, but like I said, you know, getting into different animals and different building styles. I have seen other videos of people doing reviews of some of the Lego Friends. Lego Friends right now, they have a nice, like a downtown area set, although it is very pricey. I think it's about $160. Some of the other creators that I have seen, and I can't think of who they are. And I don't believe Zhang Brick had actually done it, and I know I've watched some of his stuff. It was somebody else, but they said that they think that's about one of the best downtown scenes that they've seen so far. So if you're making a city or whatever, that might be very nice. Doing this, I'm sure as I get going back into my story here with my factory one, I'm sure I'm going to be using this in here at some point, because if I can build it up, I can have them walk in front of what looks like a little bit of a skyscraper or something, you know, to change things up. The comics I do for fun. I'm working on Tuesdays I post up kind of the work one, so it's just in town or at work or some of the silliness there, and then the other one's more of a space theme, and see what I can do on that one. But as I build this up, I've got to get it up. This is actually about 7 bricks high, so as I was building this up, I had to go, I think, 8, so that way because it's 7 plus 1, and then this one went over, and if you notice right here in the bottom, I have 1 plate just underneath there, so it's just enough for that to slide in. Trying to make sure I have this smooth so everything slides in nicely. Again, I had picked up a bunch of these, so as I try to put this together and you're kind of watching with me, we'll just kind of figure out how we're going to do this. It might work a little easier. Normally I'd slide over a little bit more, but I've got you sitting here with me, so as we're trying to get this put together, we'll just kind of paste these in. I wanted to keep this a little bit thicker here, mainly because, like on the bottom, and with the kitty cat out of the way, I have a spot here where I didn't want to have nothing. So if I decide to change this out later, I want to be able to have the availability to have something covered up here. And that's really what I'm trying to do. I wanted that to be a little bit wider, and I wanted to have that covered up, so as I have this sitting here, if I can get it in there, come on, alright. So I'm hoping maybe I can keep it about here, although that then presents an issue where I will have to fill in a floor over here, so I might have to take this apart a little bit. I'm hoping not. I might just have to maybe take these out, although that wouldn't work for the plates. I'll have to figure this out. We'll get it worked out here. The nice thing is if I really have to, the way the walls are being done, they're just on that plate, so oops. Now I'm going to break this all apart. It's not the first time you guys have seen me do all that. Alright. So as I'm trying to make this, I'm trying to do it so that way I can do this somewhat in a modular way, and maybe I might want to do that now. Seeing that you guys are watching me and I'm trying to work through this, we will break this off. And I do believe I have, okay, so I do have these here. Now the question is, do I want to, because if I have that piece sit there, if it sits out here, I need to cover this up. If I have it sit back a little bit, then it's not a problem, but now I sit here with this bit here that's sticking out, and it just seems odd that you have a balcony that stops there but you can go. So If I can, I think I'd like to have this one sit roughly about so. Even if there's just one brick in here, or one kind of peg there sitting loose, that wouldn't be too bad. I won't be able to have the kitty cat sitting here because this is actually meant to sit right there. But the way the building is going, I won't be able to do that. But what I can do is I can have the kitty cat sit back here somewhere, so I could work that out. That's not going to be too much of an issue. So as I'm trying to work this through, and hopefully I don't mess this up too much, because I'm trying to do this right, so that way, like I said, I want to be able to go up a little bit. I've seen plenty of videos before I decided to do any of this where people are able to come up with solutions to this, or they're buying a lot of sets. And I think if I get too many sets, my wife might be a little mad at me. Alright, I think we might have to do this. Alright. This might work. I think I have just enough, at least for this one. And then if I have this sit here, alright, so that covers all of this. Now what I have to do is I have to make sure that we get this all locked in together. So let me pull that out. Try and lock this in. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Grab a couple more. So this will be a little bit longer video today, which hopefully you don't mind. I don't mind spending time with you guys. That's never going to be an issue. Alright. And then we can have that piece over there. This has just got the one line in there, and then this is more of doing regular concrete blocks. So, and that takes up a little extra. That way I know, if for nothing else, this can't slide back too far, because I'm grabbing the one for downstairs, upstairs. Alright, so he's there. And then I want to make sure, see, I already have that there. Some of this I'm just kind of going off of feel because I can't fully see exactly what I'm doing. Like I said, normally I would be sitting about right where you are. And then we have that. Now let's put our apartment up here. If we want to keep this right here, maybe what I should do, I do have a couple extra pieces here from building, so I might grab, I'm just grabbing a couple miscellaneous pieces that for the most part won't be seen. I think I'm just going to put that in there like that, maybe. At least at the moment. I might even take this up and put regular plates in there, kind of like the ones that I had, which I have in a different bag somewhere else, and I'll have to try and see exactly where that all is. That way I can build this up, so that means if I take this one out, it slides in and just goes up to there. No, I think I want to go back a little bit more maybe, because we're hanging over a little. I'll have to think that one through. The good news is it is modular, so we can do this. So we'll just start building the walls a little bit more, so I can figure out where I put all my blocks. So I just had a bag of, there they are. Okay. I have bricks everywhere. Alright. So just trying to build this up, and whatever I'm doing on one side, I'm trying to make sure I do on the other side. So we can try and just wall this up here a little bit. because I did that there. Trying to make sure I don't have it too weak, because if I'm picking this up, I don't want to be dropping Legos all over the floor. I have a pool table which has seen use for everything but pool in probably the last 10 years. So if you're a kid that's looking at having a pool table in your house, I will say they are very nice, but the unfortunate problem is I don't play a lot of pool. I end up using it for everything else. If you're a husband and you're thinking about getting a pool table, you know what? Quite often it gets used for everything except for pool. And for any women that are watching this, I will say this. I have heard this story before, and I have found it to be very true in my own life. Pool tables are very good for folding laundry if you don't have a husband that takes it over with Legos all the time. So hopefully everybody gets a little laugh out of that, because unfortunately there's a lot of truth to that. I remember having an uncle that had a pool table, and that was the same thing that he told me. It says his wife used it for folding laundry all the time. And I think every time as a kid when I came over, he always had to clear it off so we could play pool. Alright, so we're getting close. Unfortunately, I'm running out of bricks out of this group. The good news is I still have an extra bag. I brought a box over and I got a bag here. Alright, and I just ordered more bricks like this, except the ones I ordered I'm hoping are all smooth, because one of the next videos I had made an aircraft carrier. So if you watch any of my older videos, I showed you some of the planes that I have. Well, that's all to go on an aircraft carrier. Well, I built the aircraft carrier. Oh, come on. Don't knock out of here on me. Alright. And as much as I like the aircraft carrier, there's things I didn't do that I really wanted to do, and a couple things that I want to kind of do over. So in that regard, alright, we're almost done on this side. I wanted to get some different bricks and the like. So hopefully, shoot, I'm missing bricks. Alright. Alright. So there we are on this side. Now we're going to build this side up. And the wall's a little flimsy. I mean, it's pretty good, but the fact that it can move a little bit, that will get shored up, because if for nothing else, I will kind of crown this off. So we'll put one there. Trying to build this up. Like so. See, this is the whole thing. I mean, when you get other bricks that aren't quite Lego, sometimes the quality isn't always there. But I will say, usually they're pretty good. Yeah, there's nothing on there saying who it is. I don't remember exactly who I had gotten these from. I know I had gotten them off of Amazon, and the price was pretty good. So, but outside of me building them, I don't really build this stuff to sell it. That's not my intentions. My intention is I enjoy making models, and like I said before, these are my models. I don't mind having a little extra color. I mean, really the colors, I mean, we have some kind of pinks and blues and yellows and all that stuff. I think that works pretty well. I don't have any issues with those. And the bottom one has on the outside more of a dark blue and a little green for a contrast. That's all fine with me. I don't have any issues with that. So it's kind of interesting. This one's got a little cup, and it looks like they have like a tea or a soda or something in there. I enjoy putting like people having cups or something to drink in there. Makes it seem like people are actually living in the world that you're creating. 'Cause that's all I'm really doing. I'm just trying to create an imaginary world, and I'm trying to think of what I should start calling this world as I have characters running around and we're making comics, because I do role-playing games and I always find it to be something nice if you can kind of start putting names onto places and all that stuff. So now I think I might have to kind of skitter over into my workroom and get my other bag of other bricks. So give me a second while I find that. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so I have another big bag just off camera here. Hopefully I have enough plates that I can crown this off and make this look good. So I think what we might do is kind of how we have the floor here. I think we're going to crown it off the same way, and I think what we might do is we might continue doing that, so that way hopefully everything will mash up pretty good. I think I might have to order more of those plates. I'd have to look it up. I don't think I spent a lot of money on these plates, so that works out pretty good for me in that regard. Actually, why don't I do this? Give it a little bit more strength, hopefully. Alright, so the idea here is, because I know I'm going to need that, like so. And that's going to go just right here. Alright. Now we got to fill this off. Get a couple more plates here, see how this goes. 2 for sure. Possibly 3. Alright, so that feels pretty solid there. And I think what I might do is I will make a crown on the back here. And then just another one on the sides that can easily come off. So if I get more, I can hopefully stack them up. Oops, wrong ones, right ones. Need 2 of those. And unfortunately, this is a different color. I don't have a choice. I'm trying to do this. Having one that would actually work out for that size. It's the only color I have, so not perfect, but it looks pretty good. Makes a pretty darn good box out of that, so that should hold up pretty well. And now we're going to make a crown out of here. So if you think about most buildings, let's see, we'll leave that be. 2, 3 there. Swing that around. One, 2, 3 right here. Out of the bricks that I have, this actually had the corner pieces, so this was, so these bricks aren't bad. Sometimes they like to stick a little extra, which isn't always a bad thing, especially if you're just making some walls or something. See how good or bad I do here. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so that'll work out just right here. The back side I will have to finagle a little bit, but not much. Alright, so like I said, now I can pull that out, We do have the back, so if I wanted to play, have a play aspect of setting something somewhere in there, I do want to get my kitty cat in there, so I will have to figure that out. I will take off the Technic piece. I will for sure have a couple pieces there, and I will put kitty cat just like that. So for nothing else, we have kitty cat in the back. Oops, trying to do all this. Alright, I'm going to put that here, so hopefully this makes this a little bit more solid here. I think I'm going to have 3 of them. Should be 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so now we have like your standard crown that you would find on most buildings. There's no actual stairwell. And it kind of gives us a little different look. So now we have what looks like an apartment complex. So each of these is a bedroom, but trying to do it up so it looks like they're small apartments that you would find in a standard city. So hopefully this will work. Looks pretty good to me. Hopefully this gives you guys some ideas. I picked up these two because, like I said, now these were $13 and some odd change here in the United States at my local Walmart. I don't know what they're sitting at in your local stores. Hopefully you can find them on clearance before they get sold out, if they're clearancing out in your area. Usually I like to pick up a lot of sets when they are going on clearance because I can get some pretty good deals. Otherwise, I do find that Walmart typically sells Legos for a little less than some of the other stores do. I've noticed that Target, because Toys R Us used to be a good place for me to go and get Legos from time to time for some of the harder to find sets, but I don't have a Toys R Us around here. We do have a Brick and Minifig, which is a nice store to go to. I've picked up some different windows. I think I mentioned that in one of my other videos, and in one of the next videos we will be working on my aircraft carrier, so I might leave the setup right here so we can work on the aircraft carrier here and see what other kind of silliness we get into. So I'd like to thank you for watching me kind of do my silliness here, and hopefully it gave you ideas for something that you might be doing, or just something to just see how I create things. So that being said, have a good day. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.